Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I was here. Well, I wasn't here, actually. I was getting a drink, and the stream kind of started without my consent, and so wasn't expecting it. How you doing, guys? I assume you can hear me. I think you should be able to hear me. Good. Aha. Right, let me. Oh man, that Space King thing's funny.
Did you know that this?
It was just like an extended advert, but fuck me, it was funny. Like that, the 2-minute hate monger lecture. Yeah, I'm really behind on painting, right? Because basically I was working a lot, and I have been. I'm constantly working. But I think I might have some time to do some painting, so I went out and got some of these. You probably can't tell what it is. Let me see if I can improve the lighting somewhat. It's one of the, what's it, sector robots or something? They actually produced something for the Thousand Suns. Jess Phillips is giving a lecture. Which, who the fuck wants a lecture from Jess Phillips? Yeah, so I've been working a little bit on this. Literally, it arrived today, so I put it together. And Dan from Brokenomics decided he was going to get a Warhammer army, and he got himself the Custodes box. And so I was like, okay, I'll get you a Custodes guy. And so I painted him up yesterday. Quite happy with how it came out. I've never painted a Custodes before, but it looks alright, doesn't he? Not like the world's greatest paint job or anything, but yeah, it looks okay. I haven't painted anything in a couple of months, so I was a bit rusty. But I think it looks alright. And so I knocked him together. Took, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. It's fun painting all the gold, to be honest, because gold's actually super easy if you know a good formula for it. So, like, you basically paint it a rich gold, do Sephirim sepia over it, and then highlight it with various golds, and it comes out looking good. Yeah, the base looks alright as well. I just used just some PVA, just some sand for the rough at the bottom, and some PVA glue and some modelling flock. It's come out looking alright. Did a bit of highlighting on the marble thing. No, it's a new one. It's the Custodes Captain or whatever. I don't play Custodes, so I don't actually know what the thing's called. But yeah, I was quite happy with how it came out. And it was a fun way. I like painting novel miniatures because obviously I've got armies I'm painting. I'm just like, fuck's sake, man! I've got to like. I love my Thousand Suns. I fucking love my Thousand Suns. But good God, man, like. Painting the trim on Thousand Suns is just such a fucking nightmare, and I hate the actual color scheme that they paint these in, where it's like bone colored. I think it looks awful. The paint jobs they do are obviously pretty good, but like the color scheme itself is bad. So I've decided to paint it in traditional Thousand Suns color scheme and see how it comes out. And so basically. Painting the Thousand Suns is the worst part of playing Thousand Suns. So basically, I'm just going to crack on and do this and talk to you guys. So, hello, how are you? Yeah, I painted one of Samson's Tyranids a while ago. Von Ryan's Leaper, I think it was called. And it was not good. I think if I was going to paint a Tyranid army, I would just use contrast paints. So I tried to make all my Thousand Suns basically look as good as I can possibly make them look, because it's not a very big army. Custodes would be a way easier army to paint because obviously you just spray everything gold, paint the red on, and then you've got the whole army basically done. Go through it doing details. But yeah, no, Thousand Suns, fucking nightmare. Love the models, love the way it looks, love the way the faction plays too, to be honest, but painting was just the worst. Well, it depends. With any like coloured Space Marine armor, it depends how good you want to paint it. I've got a bunch of like half-painted Dark Angels that I can't be bothered to do. And I've got an avatar that sat just in front of my desk that I have been painting and recording a video of, but I just can't find the motivation to finish him. Although saying that, now I'm looking at him. He's not looking shabby. Maybe I should finish him. But I haven't done any paint. Yeah, Sectar robot. I haven't done any painting on that avatar for probably like 6 months or something. So I haven't had any time. I've been working my arse off constantly. I mean, hopefully you guys can see that I've been working my arse off constantly, and hopefully the quality of my content is just on the up. But what that means, I don't have time to just chill. What's wrong with the mic quality? I don't know what the Sectar robot is, to be honest. I assume it's some Thousand Suns. I've got my headset on because otherwise you probably won't be able to hear me. I assume it's just some Thousand Suns sorcery. And like the back part I'm painting here, if you look on the actual model that they painted on me, This is all just black. It's just like, God, that's so lazy. Like, why wouldn't the robotic parts be metal? Like, it's such, like, the model itself is fine. It's not terribly big. Like, you know, compared to the Custodes guy, it's a little bit bigger than him. So you can see, a little bit taller than him. Compared to the Avatar, for example, it's about, I don't know, 2/3 his size. So it's not small, but it looks like the sort of thing that should be Dreadnought size. Why isn't this my fucking Thousand Suns Sorcerer Dreadnought that I want? That I've been desperate for a very long time. Yeah, it should have been bigger, yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, I don't mind. Like, the stats are fine. Weirdly, they've got 4+ to hit, which isn't good, but okay, whatever. You know, it's got Warp Flamer on it, and then a Melter Cannon or Melter Gun. No, multi-melter. No, it's not Melter Gun. It's just a Melter Gun, 12-inch range, and the rocket launchers that the Terminators have. Can't remember the call now. And so it's fine. They're quite tough, and they've got 4 wounds, so it's like, okay, fine. These are capable of shooting at vehicles, which is useful because that is one area in which my Thousand Suns army does suffer and struggle. So I decided to get a squad of 4, and now I've got to paint 4 of these fucking things, which is going to take forever and a day. Yeah, but I don't know why they're not basically dreadnoughts. And the thing is, I actually like sort of mid-size robots. Like, if I were playing Imperial Guard, I'd have loads of Sentinels. I just really like the kind of mid-sized robot type things. So I do like these. You know, when they're like, oh my god, there's a new Thousand Suns unit. I was like, fucking what? Really? Christ. It's the first time in a long fucking time. Games Workshop, like, has a nightmare or something and accidentally spits out a fucking Thousand Suns unit. I better get some. Use them before they get written out of the codex. but yeah, I wasn't. The thing is, and like I said, it's not even that they're bad. I don't think they look bad, and they look game-wise like they fill a role in the army. Like, basically, there is only 160 points for the entire squad of 4, which is not bank-breaking compared to the Marine squads, the Rubric Marines and the Scarab Terminators. So, and they're quite tough. And they're the sort of thing that basically I would use as a massive distraction. Like, I'll just rumble them down the center of the table and invite the opponent to spend as many shots as they can, pumping lead into them. And if they do something useful, then wonderful, great, they do something useful. But these would not be key to my strategy. But they'd be a nice thing to have as just like bully units, you know. So they get a lot of shots every time. They've got Warp Flamer, they've got the Hellfire missiles. Are they Hellfire missiles? I think they're Hellfire missiles. I can't remember. Am I going to paint space figurines in the future? I do not play Emperor's Children. I play Thousand Suns. I mean, probably not, because I'm painting for my armies. So I'm actually painting for a reason. If I was painting for the fun of painting, maybe. Not that I had a game of... Not that I've had a game of 40k in a long time. But at some point I would love to have another game of 40k. Master and Commander game coming out. I have not seen that. I don't know whether I've told you, but Archie and I are working on some tabletop war games at the moment. And they're coming along really, really well. I've been doing it for about, I don't know, 2 years now, something like that, 1.5 years, 2 years. And they're coming along really, really well. And they're getting to the point where we're getting models made now. I don't want to spoil anything. But the first one is going to be a kind of skirmish game that I've invested a lot of time and effort into designing the rules. I think I don't want to blow my own trumpet on this, but I think you're going to be blown away by the quality of the game itself, because I think I have something really interesting and novel that we've been working on this whole time. And I've had a playtesting group in my Discord, and they've all said, "Oh wow, this was really, really fun, and I would like to have another game," which is the thing you want to hear. I've never played a Krieg army with my cousin son, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I've had nothing but positive feedback on the game mechanics and the sense of agency. Right. One of the things I think that's important for any game, and this is what this is what's so frustrating about the Isle, is the more things you can do and the more you understand, the more funner it is. What do you mean? How old is this? How old is what? D6, just D6. I find it very annoying when games use pretentious dice. Like, look, every dice is the same, right? Every die is the same. What they do is create a random chance of good stat or bad stat. That's literally all a dice is. And so I'm going to have D12. Why? What's the point? You know, the chances of, like, you know, if a character is like, look, I want him to succeed half of the time, or a third of the time, or a fifth of the time, or a sixth of the time, you know, that's probably enough for a tabletop war game. Like, there are going to be very few times where you're like, no, I need it to be a 20th of the time. I mean, maybe in, you know, a role-playing game like D&D, I can see it. But for a tabletop war game, there's just no point. D6s are fine. And everyone has them. Is the audio not okay? The audio should be fine. I've got a fairly good mic on this. Let me listen to it. Is the audio not okay? I'm obviously using the wrong mic. What's going on here? What? No, that's... Oh, yeah.
There we go. Right, okay, that should be better. Why didn't you tell me I'd done the wrong source? I didn't know. Yeah, I bet that's much better. No, of course I didn't know. I was like, why would I listen? I didn't check the fucking stream. I haven't been for a couple of weeks, not because of any fault of my own, to church. But last time I was there, it was busy. And this church seems to be prospering really, really well, actually. So good for them, basically. Glad to see they're doing well. Can you guys see the painting going on all right? I've not done this before like this. So let me know if this paint's all right. Like you can see what's going on. But yeah, so this game, I don't know how much I want to spoil, but like I said, I've been working on the mechanics of the actual game for a long time, because the game lives and dies on the mechanics. Every game does, really. I mean, Warhammer is one of those things where the mechanics have been shit for such a long time. Everyone's just got used to it. So, oh, great, you know, great, this edition's come out. Oh, yeah, it's shit. Got it. Okay, yeah. Every edition of Warhammer's been shit, basically, since the second. I'm being unfair there, but, like, it's not been great. Let's be real. Like, especially the modern. Like, 9th was just far too stupidly complex. And then 10th was just so homogenized. Yeah, D&D got worse every edition. Just go back to... I tell you what, D&D peaked at 3.5, right? Like, genuinely, I used to play 2nd edition D&D when I was like 13. And fuck me, if I have to ever work out what THACO is again, like, it's such an arcane and obtuse system. It's just like, look, just make to hit rolls positive, you fucking idiots. Oh, he's got an armor class of 17. Great, I need to roll 17 or more. Oh, well, that makes my life a lot easier. I can actually understand what the fuck is happening now. Brilliant. I did used to play Space Hulk. I can't really remember how it worked, though. Because, again, it was a very, very long time ago. And I didn't get to play Space Hulk as much as I got to play other games. But, sorry, can you guys see the painting all right? Just... 5th edition D&D feels like Zoomer D&D, and I don't like it. Like, you know... Don't know how to say it, but like it feels like D&D for retards, and I don't like that. Good. Glad to hear that it's in focus and you can see it. I hate building models before I paint them, but I've got 4 of these things to do, so got to crack on. So I tell you what, these are going to be the most boring painting streams in the world. What are you painting? The same thing over and over. Yes, I fucking am. Enjoy. Sit down. Send a super chat. Have fun. But yeah, this isn't going to be great for you guys anyway. But I need to do it. And if I was just sat here in silence, I thought, I may as well talk to you guys. Although I was actually watching some videos. There's this little leftist YouTube channel called Maximilian Robespierre. And he's got me blocked on Twitter, otherwise I'd invite him for a chat. Disappointed to find that I was blocked by him on Twitter, actually. Because he's not retarded, but like it's so obvious his blind spots. And I would happily have had a chat with him. And so I was watching one of his videos just about the NHS, and he's just like, reform, say things that are true about the NHS, and then they come to the wrong conclusions. Because Zia Yusuf was on Question Time being like, oh yeah, well, I mean, I can't remember how many doctors, half of British doctors who are trained, newly trained doctors, just don't have jobs. And the reason is we just keep importing foreign doctors. And he's like, well, I mean, it's because, like, new doctors can't just walk onto a ward. They have to have their hands held and trained as like a little apprenticeship by existing NHS doctors. It's like, okay, so why doesn't that apply to foreign doctors? Obviously that applies to foreign doctors. So you haven't debunked Zia Yusuf. What you've done is made the argument, stop importing foreign fucking doctors. And I think that he's compos mentis enough to be able to understand what I'm saying if I were to explain that to him. But of course, they're only obviously, the NHS are underfunded. It's like, no, bro. The NHS has never been better funded. Every year, NHS funding goes up. It's just forever a line going up. It's a pit, a black hole that we pour money into. And one day we're going to have to understand that that's actually not productive. There's probably a better way. Yeah, 3.5 had a granularity to it. I was like, sorry, I'm just going to have to move. I'm leaning on my elbow and I'm hurting my elbow because I'm just on the desk. I need something padded. Yeah, 3.5 had a granularity to it. Yeah, but no, Samuel. The argument he's making is that fully trained doctors need to be handheld around the NHS when they begin, which is doubtless true. Obviously, it's such a hugely complex system, and it's a difficult and job. It's a job that you're literally taking people's lives in your hands. Of course, you need someone holding your hand and walking through the system so mistakes aren't made. Blah blah blah. Totally concede, obviously. So why don't we just use the British doctors rather than the foreign ones? And the answer is, well, we're kind of addicted to foreign labour because we think for some reason it's just morally good, and it's just easier. Like there's a whole sort of network and complex designed to poach foreign doctors at the expense of our own doctors. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, no wonder they can't work and they don't have jobs. Matt, I've been working on my Eldar for ages. I've been building slowly but surely an Eldar army. I do like the Eldar a lot, but I'm not happy with it, and I'm just not fucking happy with it. I'm annoyed that I've got an Eldar army that I'm just not happy with, because the Eldar are really fucking straightforward. Like, I'm happy with my striking Scorpions, happy-ish with my Dark Reapers. I bought the Warp Spiders because, of course, they were something I was not going to buy until they were remade after 34 years or whatever it was. But I have got them. I haven't had time to paint them yet. But my Thousand Suns is like my flagship army, and these robots came out for it. I was like, right, okay, I'm going to get these robots and paint them. And I'll have them. Well, thank you, Angelus. It's nice to see someone else recognise the Thousand Suns as the true protagonists and heroes of the setting. Obviously, they are, because Magnus did nothing wrong. I have him painted on my shelf behind me. And they're cool. They are fucking cool, and I love them. And I've always wanted a Thousand Suns army, and now I have one. Sorry, I might have to hold it at strange angles to get weird bits, so your viewing experience may be interrupted. Somewhat. Starting to think I should have actually just sprayed him in silver. Obviously, I used the airbrush to lay down the original blue base coat, but actually there's a lot more silver on the back than there is blue on the front. So where are we? There we are. Yeah, there's a lot more silver on the back than there is blue on the front, and it's awkward. It's a lot easier to get to the blue on the front than it is the silver on the back. So I might actually respray them. I sprayed them all this afternoon. I built them and sprayed them this afternoon. I might just respray them. Or I might just spray them silver in the back. Because it's actually reasonably easy to just spray a section. Bring back Malal. I don't actually know anything about Malal because I'm not a lore reader. Reading books is for gays. I don't want to read books. I read too many fucking books as it is. I'm actually reading about Russian structuralism at the moment. Finding it very interesting, actually. Like, you know, the structure of Russian folk tales. Because I'm working on a really long video about narrative of the Alien franchise. Now, the Alien franchise actually only has one conclusion, and they're constantly fucking it up. And that's why it's shit. And that's why basically everything's shit. There's no writers anymore. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I really want to start blabbing about this game I'm making because I'm really, really proud of it. And so I like the idea of having a combination sort of. Basically, like it makes sense as a skirmish level game, but one thing I really liked about BattleTech is that you invest a lot in each miniature, right? And so I was like, right, I'd like to take that sort of frame. Obviously, I'm not taking any of the mechanics from BattleTech, but like the weight of each miniature on the board, you know, like a lot can happen to a miniature before it's taken off the board in BattleTech, and I wanted to replicate that feeling so the things feel like they're important. And then, you know, you've got options. But I wanted to frame it in a fantasy setting and allow you to do a lot of stuff, have lots of options. and lots of combinations and cool things you can do. And then, so basically, your strategy, your not just the strategy, but like, where's my tweezers? There's a hair on this. Come on. There we go. So your strategy is comprehensive in the way you play. So you customize and create your characters, and then you play them out on the game. And I'm gonna have loads of different types of things that you could do with the characters, as in I guess we'll call them factions, but they're not really factions. Got quite a lot of those, and each one is unique, absolutely unique, completely different playstyle to the others, which I really like. And then I've realized that what I could do is add a layer that I've called archetypes that enable sort of the jump between the normal playstyles, so you can mix and match if you want. You've got to pay for it, obviously. You've got to pay some extra points to get access to these things, but it gives you a sort of flexibility that the normal one doesn't have. But of course, you've got to sacrifice something to get it. And it's all just, it's coming together so well. And so I thought that the character information could just be kept on cards, because you could potentially have bigger games. It's just, it would become complex. So if everything's kept on cards, then you can just attach that to the sort of unit card of the thing that you're dealing with, and keep it all together on the tabletop. And so we've had to design a bunch of cards for the abilities that you have, and I'm really, really pleased that it comes out. Everything's got its own feel, its own theme, its own play style, and obviously its own units. And it all feels very unique. And the game is fast-paced, fun. One of the things I love about the game is that you feel like with the playtesters, the first question I would ask them after their first playtesting game was, "Did you understand what happened?" And all of them were, "Oh yeah." "Did you feel in control of what was happening?" "Oh yeah, absolutely. I knew exactly what I was going to do with my character, and whether it played out or not is based on my tactics, not on me not understanding the game." And that's on the very first game they were playing. And I was like, fucking brilliant. That was what I was aiming for. A game that you can literally, when someone explains to you the basic rules and you're like, "Oh right, yeah, I get it." And you read the card and go, "Oh right, yeah, I know exactly what this does. And so I know exactly the kind of effect I'm going to get out of this." That was what I was aiming for, and that was what I got from every single player. And they were almost kind of surprised I was asking that question too, as if it was a silly remedial question. But it's like, look, man, when you sit down for a game of second edition D&D, you do not know what the fuck you are doing, and you do not feel in control of the events. And a lot of the time in 40k, that feels that way too. Like 9th edition 40k, someone's like, "Yeah, I'm going to play this stratagem." You're like, "Okay, what the fuck is a stratagem? I don't know what that means. I don't know what it does. I've never seen it because it's only located in your fucking codex." And it's a huge block of text and several pages you've got to read. Man, you have no fucking idea what's going on. If you're a new player, the barrier to entry is so difficult. Yeah, Alpha Strike. There'll be something similar to that. Obviously, it's not sci-fi. It's gonna be fancy. But I wanted that kind of speed and efficacy. So why don't you remove the mold lines? Where are the mold lines? I thought I did. A bit on the back there. I thought I had done that, but okay, well, I'm not that bothered about mold lines. I'm not a mold line purist. Sorry, I will get to these super chats in a minute. Sorry, I just want to block in basically all of the silver while I have it on my paintbrush. And I will get to them when I take a break. with this particular point, like at the moment, I'm just literally blocking in colours, so you don't have to worry about being very disciplined at this point. Although the more disciplined you are, the easier you make it on yourself later. But small mistakes aren't really a big deal at this point. Well, aren't really, they just aren't a big deal. But like I said, the more disciplined you are, the easier you have it later. But that's a problem for future me to worry about. Present me is like, yeah, no, fuck it, let's go. Future me can just deal with it. Which is precisely how I've been handling my diet recently. Holy shit, am I disciplined? I lost 1.5 kilograms last week. And then this weekend I have had a complete collapse of morale. I had some sweets and some chocolate and some stroop waffles. And I'm like, fuck. And now I hate myself. I fucking hate myself. And I go look at myself topless in a mirror. Like, look what you've fucking done to me. Although, I have been going down the gym really, really reliably. So, the problem is, it's like I'm looking at my gut and being like, look at the size of this fucking gut. Do something about it. And I'm looking at my shoulders and going, fucking hell, these are looking alright. It's getting to the point where my wife's noticing. And she's like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah. Right, let's take 5 seconds break there. I don't do any bench presses because I'm down there by myself, but there's this bench press machine where you're sat and you push forward. I do about 75 kilograms, 82 kilograms if I'm really pushing it on there, which I don't think is terrible. What's 82 kilograms in pounds? $180. Yeah, it's not the same. I know it's not the same, but it does work your chest out. So I am getting a chest workout out of it. Thing is, I haven't got anyone spotting me because I'm there on my own. So yeah, I know free bench is better, but a lot of it as well is you've got to spend time setting that up. I've only got an hour basically. I'm very time constrained. No, I literally just go in there and do normal, just machines, and then some free weights at the end. So I'm currently curling about 16 kilograms. And I just do any shoulder weights, just as heavy as I can on the machines, and then free weights at the end. Yeah, I mean it's really becoming noticeable. So I don't take any supplements. I just eat tons of fucking meat. Like 90% of my diet is just meat, basically. Because I love meat. I would need someone to show me what I'm supposed to do with things like deadlifts and squats. I don't have anyone to do that. So I just go in there and use the weights. I'm sure creatine is good and all that. You know, I'm not. Thing is, I'm not at a point where I'm not seeing any gains. Like every week, I'm seeing gains. I've been doing it for about 3 months now, and the gains are just so obvious from when I started, and I can see them coming in each week, basically. So I think, honestly, I think it's just I eat so much fucking meat, man. Like, and because I actually really like meat, so I'm not worried about that. I don't have a shortage of protein. I'm sure at some point I'll plateau, obviously, but I haven't done any weight training since I was very young. 20 or something. Yeah, I mean, I was not invited to debate Mohammed Hijab. I was invited to debate free speech a while ago. Then they just kind of left, just stopped contacting me. I was like, okay, thanks. And then I was invited to debate the merits of the British Empire. I think there was another one as well. So they sent me this email, and then they just never email me back after I say, yeah, okay, when do you want? It's like, what? Okay, fuck you. I'm just not going to accept their emails, their invitations in future. It's like, well, if you're going to get Destiny and Mohammed Hijab, but I'm off the table, somehow I'm too radical. Like, come on, bros. Sorry, I was going to go through the super chats, wasn't I? Sorry. Right. Please get Dan to read Progress and Poverty by Henry George. It's an expansion on what economists like Adam Smith have said about ground rents capturing a country's productivity. I can ask him. I don't know shit about that, so I'm not an economist. You should talk with Nick Freitas, who has come to similar conclusions to you about liberalism and his ideas getting beyond it. Well, there is a burgeoning post-liberal movement that's being made up of very right-wing conservative chaps who are all coming to the same conclusion. Oh, fuck it, it's liberalism itself that is the problem. Got it. And so there's actually quite a well of thought that's coming out of it. A lot of us basically are realizing that when the Academy wanted to overturn scholasticism because Aristotle's physics were not correct, we threw out his metaphysics as well. And that's not good because his metaphysics were correct, in fact. And the liberal metaphysics are wrong and unhealthy. And so we need to return to those, accept that in the physical domain, in the sciences, yes, Francis Bacon was correct, but when it comes to the metaphysical domain and the social domain that produces, he was very wrong, actually. The good life does not involve unlimited liberty. Liberty from society is no liberty at all, actually. Just enslavement to whatever power drives you. And that's not good. And actually, the things that really matter in life are those relationships you have with other people. Once I'm actually fully finished with my masters, I will write a book. Lots of people have written books on this, obviously, but I will write my own. Because it's not that I think they're wrong or anything. Like, there's just a way of framing it that I'm interested in establishing that, as far as I can tell, they haven't. Well, it's not that they haven't, but like in the books of theirs I've read, they haven't. And so I found it's not that I find it dissatisfying, but I find it not as straightforward, maybe, or comprehensive as it ought to be. It's written for other academics, and it's written for philosophers, which is fine if you're a philosopher and you understand these things, which of course I do, because I am. But if you're not a philosopher, you don't understand the origins of these ideas or the origins of liberalism or whatever it is, then a lot of it will seem like just theorizing, right? Be like, why does this matter? It's like, well, actually, these ideas are the source of everything we think and do. You know, it's the source of every government policy. It's the intrinsic concern every institution is bent towards. It's the thing that everyone in politics does all day, every day, and it is destructive and wrong. So, I know this is going to sound mental, but we should stop doing it. Actually, we should think, oh, maybe we should do something else. Now, there's going to be a lot of sunk cost fallacies in all of this. There'll be a lot of people like, yeah, but I spent my entire life doing this thing that was bad and wrong. Like, yes, you did. And I've got some bad news for you. It has to stop. It just has to stop, bro. You can't just continue doing things that are bad and wrong just because you've always done things that are bad and wrong. That would be fucking crazy, wouldn't it? You'd have to be some sort of madman. Mr. Liberal Professor. They'd be like, well, yeah, but I am a madman. Oh, I know. Don't I fucking know? How the fuck am I going to get to that? Oh, fucking pain. Should have just been a panel. We didn't need to see the actual body of the missile inside his fucking thing here. Should have just had a panel on top. Absolute fucking nightmares to get to. Yeah, this is the Warhammer Bob Ross show. Just going to put a happy little missile on him. There. You know, Bob Ross is an American thing. I never watched much Bob Ross or anything. It's like Mr. Rogers. No one in England knows who that is. It's like James Corden. No one in England knows who he is. Fucking hell. A fucking pain. Yeah, he's looking shinier than I was expecting, really. But at least he'll look like he belongs in a Thousand Suns army. Unlike a fucking Necron army or whatever. Sorry, I will carry on a second. I just want to get this done. Hello there, Sabian. Hope you're doing well. So, I'm using the two thin coats Dwarven Iron. And on the Gold Boy Custodes guy, I used Army Painter's True Metallic Metal range that I ordered the other day. It's alright, but man, I tell you, I hate Games Workshop's paints because of the pots, but their metallic paints are second to none. Nobody. I've got metallic paints from everyone. Like this Dwarven Iron from Two Thin Coats is pretty good, actually. But basically, My entire painting career is me searching for bolt gun metal, an old GW paint from 2nd edition. It was fucking incredible. I loved it so much. It was such a good metallic colour. And my entire painting career is me looking for another version of bolt gun metal. And this is close. This is close. But it's not dark enough. Yeah, I know. Everyone says that. GW pots are designed to just dry. And it's like, yeah, fuck you, GW. Fuck you. Give me the dropper bottles. Bolt gun metal was imperious. Yeah, exactly, right? It was just incredible. It was just incredible. Yeah, it's lead belcher and null oil. I know. That's the the modern thing. But the thing is, yeah, I've gone off GW as well. I'm annoyed with them as a company. And it frankly, it's just pushes me into continuing to develop our own thing. And it's going really, really well, like I said. In fact, we've got a couple of things in design, but like the smaller one we're going to produce first, then the bigger one afterwards. Which means I'm going to have to set up another company. The Warhammer data leaks, I actually don't know anything about them. Send me a link. Has Discourse Minis done a video on it yet? Let me have a look. I watch all of her videos. I know she's insufferably woke, but the thing is, her Warhammer like news videos are so good, I've got to overlook it. Oh yeah, I saw that, but they were just scans of the minis. Oh wow, that's cool, Ryan. That's really cool, actually. I really like that. Going to the Acropolis and listening to my recital of Pericles. Yeah, so this, like I said, this game, I don't know what I can actually tell you, but it's basically it's going to revolve around like wizards, and different forms of magic, and I've got a great backstory for it, like a great premise for the world, and so many, each school of magic is completely different to the rest. I'm really chuffed with it, and they play very differently, very different feel and theme. And so we're currently making the cards for the spells and the miniatures themselves. And I want aura. I want aura in my miniatures. So when I'm painting them, I'm like, wow, that looks cool as shit. Recommend you read the Liber Chaosica, the single best Warhammer background book ever made. Really goes into the nature of chaos. Yeah, it'll be 32mm scale. Yeah. And you'll just use a tape measure as normal. Like no, I don't want to reinvent the wheel with it, because the style of the game, like the style of the gameplay, is very dynamic. You can move each other's miniatures if you've got spells to do that sort of thing. And it's a very flowing game. It's very fast paced. Like one thing I hated with Warhammer is the number of fucking dice rolls you have to make. Holy shit! Oh, I'm gonna roll to hit. Oh, I'm gonna roll to wound. Oh, I'm gonna roll to armor. Oh, I'm gonna roll to feel no pain. It's like, fuck me! And so you go through handfuls of dice over and over and over and say, oh, I just want to fucking know what happens, bro. So I've tried to cut that down as much as possible. Ye oldie. I've done it in inches, because inches are cool. But yeah, we will. Russian, in fact. We're talking about the tabletop game that you've play tested. So without spoiling anything, how fun is it to play? Russian was part of the playtest group. Yeah, metrics French and gay. So yeah, Russians, let people know whether it's been fun or not playtesting it. And also, we need to have another playtest because I've added a bunch of mechanics to the main game that we didn't have before, which we need testing, frankly. Matthew says, liberalism requires Christian Protestant constraint and moral duty to prevent it from going the way of the French Revolution and Weimar Republic. Yeah, there's more than that, but you're basically correct. Russian says, very fun. Never played D&D before, total novice. Took a few hours to understand, but after that, very fun. Well, that's good. So, yeah, basically, very happy with how it's coming along. We're getting the miniatures designed and made. We get them printed out. And as Russian says, as Carl said, at every point in the game, I felt in control. And that's the most important thing, I think. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with that. Right, what do I need to do next? Yeah, when you cocked up, it was purely your fault. Exactly. That's the good thing. All right. Okay. I need to think about how I'm going to do the blue bits. How am I doing these blue bits? What colours am I even going to use? What colours do I have? So, Sentient Turquoise and Cursed Blue from Duncan Rose's Two Thin Coats, or I don't want teals. Oh, I've got the army painter. So I've got the Abyssal Blue, which is like the one I've done it in. How well do these go together, do you think? I guess there's only one way to find out. If I got pressed into a Space Marine Legion, I wouldn't choose Thousand Suns. I mean, like, solid tabletop. You could play at Christmas with kids, say 12 and above. Only a couple of pages of rules to understand. Yeah, I know that's right. Because like the great thing about having cards with the instructions on is that you like Magic the Gathering got this right from the very start. Is that you just have the card literally explain what the thing does. And once you just incorporate that into a coherent and consistent rule set, you don't actually need to have pages and pages of rules. The thing actually becomes quite self-evident. So I'm really looking forward to properly being able to play it with people. Right, okay. So sorry, I'm just pouring some paints out on this wet palette to see how well they're going to work together. I mean, I probably did do this for other Thousand Suns that I've done, but I can't really remember. Right, no, it's not as dark as the other one. Okay, interesting. Right, so that Abyssal Blue is actually not as dark as I would like it to be, which is frustrating. Hydra Turquoise, let's try that. Because I don't seem to have... I've got this ray gun glow. It's a bit brighter than that. Evening, Sean. Yeah, Russian. I've expanded the number of schools of magic as well. I think I've created like 4 new schools of magic since we played last. Because the thing is, it's actually normally quite easy to actually create the school of magic. What's difficult is conceiving of it in the first place. Because, you know, conclusions are derived from premises. Right, okay, now I already have that. That's fine. Right, okay. So, ray gun, glow, and Hydra Turquoise. So, fucking around. Because I'm gonna start actually shading something now. In a minute, when I actually unblock my... See, the one problem with these is you got to unblock them. Don't get me wrong, you know, it's nice that they don't dry up in their absence. It's not the end of the world to unblock. But nothing is value free. Right, so that is basically the same as the Duncan Rose one. The Duncan Rose one is brighter. And I have this ultra bright marine mist from Army Paints, which I also have to unblock. possibly. Hello, the turkey. Yeah, it's hard to imagine things that don't exist. That's correct. That's exactly it. And so, like, you know, the different sort of schools of magic. Yeah, that's very bright. That's good. Okay. Yeah, the different schools of magic are the theme around which the universe will revolve, obviously. I never play historical war games. It's not that I don't want to. I just don't have a friend group that does. I would love to get a Carthaginian army for some tabletop war game. That would be great. You know, I would love that. You know, actually have Hannibal's army, but yeah, no, I don't have any friends who'd play it, so I've never played any of the games, don't know any of the rules or anything like that. Hi Carl, have you watched Gennady Tartakovsky's Primal? It's got no dialogue, but a story about a Conan-esque caveman riding a T-Rex. No, I haven't. That sounds cool, though. I'm going to put that into my browser and watch that later. That sounds fun. I don't think super chats are blocked. Can you not send one? Right, let's try. Let's paint all of that in. We'll see how it comes out when it dries. Another thing about painting is you don't realise that things get darker when they dry. Sometimes. This is definitely... Well, this better be one of those times. I need darker... Yeah, I know, depending on the base coat and whatnot. Yeah, this is a Warhammer model. I am looking forward to being able to paint my own fucking models. Honestly, like, we've got some great stuff being designed. I'm looking forward. Right, so that's not actually that dark. How much lighter is that? Quite a lot lighter. Just practice on this little kneecap bit here. See what that looks like. Yeah, if it's something particularly spicy, YouTube will tell you to fuck yourself in the face, Tom Cruise style. Bit too light. Can you play using horrible angry bugs? Not yet. Never say never though. As Dan, our designer, he's an artist that we're working with, was one of the first things he did start like creating bug factions, and I'm like, okay, that's cool actually. Yeah, I like what you've got here, but it's a bit advanced for what we're doing at the moment. What we need is the sort of the basics down, right? And so, but the great thing about the way that I'm designing the world is just basically to be modular. So we can add whatever we want. Like he created like a design for a weird fishman thing that looks. You remember the Shadow over Innsmouth from Lovecraft? sort of, the weird frog, fish face men, whatever they were. Like, that's what I was thinking of when I saw it. I was like, wow, that actually is cool. That's just a very, very cool creature. And I would like to incorporate it. But we've got to begin at the beginning with, things that are normal and recognizable to the players. So, that I'm going to put on the back burner for much later, unfortunately, in development. But yeah, it was like, oh, that is very, very awesome. Like, cause we can add expansions to the world at any point. Basically, I'm centering it on, because the great thing is it doesn't have to be like galaxy sized or anything, right? So it's like centering the world on like the human. Well, that's come out right, actually. There's kind of shading there. Yeah, I'm centering it on like a selection of human civilizations in this one area of the world, kind of like the Mediterranean Sea, to be honest, because seas are good for that kind of thing. But then the world can just expand outwards from there, and so I can just, in a modular fashion, plug things on the end as and when, release things as expansions, basically. And the magic system itself is kind of modular, so I can just, release new magic types, new magic styles and kinds, as and when I feel like it as well. So the whole thing is great scope for expansion. And hopefully that means the thing stays vibrant for a long time. Right, how's that looking? Doesn't look too bad, actually. Quite happy with that. A little shaded knee pad. And then let's get some really bright teal. Teal being the worst colour, basically, by the way. Just really highlight bits at the edges. It's not looking too bad. Quite happy with that. Have I considered a collab with Neckbeardia for miniatures and minerals? I have never heard of Neckbeardia. Who are Neckbeardia? Oh, Huckleberry. I absolutely will. I can't help but notice that he follows me on Twitter, though. James at Neckbeardia. So yeah, good sign. I like his profile picture as well, to be honest. Right, I'll message Arch. Maybe he knows him. I don't know. Northern Ireland, a couple of these miniatures and paints of the things. Right, okay. Okay, interesting. Oh, what, does he make these miniatures himself? Why is not? When I click on it, it gives me 0 products. Why is that? 0 products found. All models, 0 products found. What is happening there on their website? Okay, well, let's have a look at one of his Kickstarters. That's not launched. Okay. That's not launched either. Okay. Well, that's frustrating. Anyway. Yeah, they are Army Painter paints, you are correct. I am painting at the moment. I was just taking a break. That's, don't know how well you can see there, but that I've just shaded that very casually. But it's come out alright, actually. One thing I do like about turquoise paints, they're relatively forgiving. Question is, what will it be like if I do something more different, right? So I've got a count here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I do blue, gold, blue, gold, blue, gold, that's ugly. So I have to do gold, blue, gold, blue, gold, blue, gold, blue. Now I'll just do that gold, screw it, fuck it. So that one has got to be blue. And so that's got to be blue as well. You never get these things the way you want, but if I blue, gold, blue, gold, blue. Yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't like the gold being the bottom one, but I don't like it being the top bloody one either. Oh, that's gold. Basically, they should have done these so I didn't have gold there or there. Deeply unhappy, Games Workshop. Change it. Fix it. Have I got any good names for sons or daughters you thought about naming your firstborn? Well, it wasn't my firstborn that I needed. I named my firstborn son after a friend of mine who died. My best friend died when I was 27 of cancer. And his name was Daniel, so I called my firstborn son Daniel. But my secondborn son, I wanted to call Alfred. But my wife was like, no, because she doesn't understand that we're resurrecting England. Old England. And so I had to compromise with her on the name. And so I went for Alexander. And my youngest daughter, I wanted to call her Ethel. It's a lovely old Anglo-Saxon name. She was like, no, that's an old woman's name. It's like, yeah, it will be, God willing. But she was like, no. And I was like, okay, fine. So we went for Mabel, which is a lovely old English name as well, but like, it's not Ethel. Like, Mabel's a sort of Norman name, which obviously is Old English now. But Ethel is a good old Anglo-Saxon name. I was like, I can't believe you won't let me call my son Ethelred. Why can't I call her, oh, my daughter, I don't know, Ethelflith or something? I love the old Anglo-Saxon names because they sound proper, like heroic. Wolfgar. Hell yeah. Yeah, I could call him Jihad from Syria. I'm reliably informed that that's an English name. Reliably informed by Sadiq Khan, but you know. Yeah, Crusader from England. I can't believe he's gone on a crusade to the Holy Land. Nominative determinism wins again. What was I going to say? Yeah, that's a good question, Russian. I'm not, but we should send a plant, shouldn't we? You know, we should send Samson down. Right, so blue, gold, blue, gold. Right, yeah, that's fine. I will actually propose it to the office on Monday. I'll go on question time when they invite me. Even then, I'm not even sure if I would want to go on question time. Like, it's just. Blue. See, the legs have got the right spacing. The blue and the gold. Another thing with this new game that I'm making is that I'll be able to produce sort of starter boxes, but like a box where basically you can literally just pick up and play it. So it'll have everything you actually need in it. Whereas with Warhammer, obviously you can't do that. I don't give a shit what they say about the fucking combat patrols. And it's so many hours to get a combat patrol from the box to the fucking board. Whereas because this will be like skirmish sized, like, so there'll be like archetypes. A particular kind of archetype box that will have everything you need in it for that thing. I'm really looking forward to putting those together because they're going to make sense. Like, none of Games Workshop's fucking bullshit decision making. Oh, but what would the shareholders think? I won't have shareholders. I may end up doing a Kickstarter, by the way. Because while we will put together everything that we need out of our own money, production for scale is a lot more expensive. So we can design the thing out of our own money, basically, which is fine. Oh shit, I'm fucking that up. Just do it and sell like Eric July. Yeah, no, it's not that simple, right? Because Eric July is just printing magazines. Like, we will need to get molds made, we'll need to get boxes created, and we will need to ship. And like, there's to do a miniature war game, there's all sorts of expenses that are just, they're very high. You know, it's a lot of there's a ceiling, a minimum sort of barrier to entry with it, which is a pain. And the thing is, as well, like doing Kickstarter, you'll just be buying the initial run, basically. So we know the sort of scale of how much we have to get made, right? So, you know, if we've got like, I don't know, 5,000 people, however many, who are like, yeah, I'd like to get these things, then we know, but make 5,000. Yeah, there's so much, man. Yeah, tariffs, warehousing, shipping, licensing, lawyers. Yeah, there's so much stuff. Like we can pay to get the game designed, and you know, like out of our own pockets, and get like test things made, because like you can get resin. You know, we can just get the STLs of the things made, get resin prints of them made, so we are happy with what we've got. Oh shit! I just spotted something I need to fucking get rid of. So we're happy with what we've got, right? And we've got everything we need to play the game, but that's not production scale. That's test. You know, you pay over the odds to get an individual thing made, but you need to get like the molds created. And I found a company that does it. But like, you know, for the mold for a miniature is like $3,500 or something. It's like, fuck, that is expensive. But obviously you can print thousands of miniatures from it. It's just that it's a huge initial cost. So if we do a Kickstarter, so we can judge how many we need and raise the initial capital, then. And also it gives something to have a bit of a buzz around, doesn't it? 'Cause we'll make a really lovely Kickstarter. Like I said, we've got artists we're working with. And obviously we're paying for all of this, you know. And we've got a very definitive vision for what we're doing as well. So, I mean, like, if you look at, like, the Battletech one had, like, 26,000 backers. Trench Crusader, 20,000 backers. I mean, if we can get like 5 or 10,000, then we're in. We can definitely do it. I don't know anything about Eric July or his business. I don't do comics or anything like that. I don't want to trash talk him. But the thing is, I have all the. No, I'm not worried about Kickstarter not killing the fund. I don't. It's a fucking 3D miniature war game. Like, what's there to be worried about? I don't think I'm nearly as controversial or cancelled as I used to be. So I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, like with Load Seaters, I actually have all the required experience for running a business that I would need now. I have obviously good people that I can rely upon and call upon as and when needed. Like the successful sale of Islander and delivery of Islander has essentially set up the network that we need, right, for fulfillment. So we have experience and contracts with companies that we use for this sort of stuff already. We know how all of this works, expected costs and distribution problems and stuff like that. We've been through it all. So we've got all that. So I'm actually, from a business perspective, I'm actually a very seasoned businessman at this point. And so I'm not worried about that, actually. Shit. Not worried about any of that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't worry. I'm well aware. You know, many lessons were learned from Islander 2. Don't know why the fuck the distributor decided to screw us over with it. And honestly, like there was a super chat or whatever the other day. This guy was like, "Oh, I find it. Thanks for just sending me the Islander 2." Because obviously we were just like, right, we're just going to send them. We will personally send them to you. You know, 1, 2, 3. So, blue, gold, blue, gold, blue, gold, blue, gold. I mean, I've got to, but I'm not happy with it. You're not happy with the number of lines on my thingamabob. Yeah, but from a business perspective, actually, I'm very confident that we can get that done. That's no problem. It's about raising initial capital, and so we've got a few options. Like we could do a round of investors, right? Oh, Huckleberry, just email us. Email contact@loadseaters, and on Monday. Like we're just manually posting them. So see, you know, we're screwed over by this fucking company. We just send them out. What was I saying? Yeah. Yeah, we could. I doubtless could get investors to invest, right? I'm actually like I've always got people asking me if I want investors for load seaters. I'm like, not really. Appreciate the offer, but we're doing fine, and I like us having complete ownership and control over what we're doing, and the Kickstarter would allow us to raise the capital and maintain that. I think that is important. Actually, I hate this beholden to shareholders bullshit. I genuinely hate it. You know, I'm not saying it's not a viable model or anything like that. It's just I've seen so many fucking shit decisions that have been made because of someone being beholden shareholders. It's like, yeah, okay, well, you know, yeah, I don't doubt that load seaters could be twice as big as what it is if we were to get a couple of £1 million of literally liquid capital by selling shares. Like we could sell on the stock market. People could buy stocks in us. But then we've got people hanging over our shoulders, breathing down our necks, being like, oh, I don't know about that, I don't know about that. And I just don't want it. I just don't want that. I'd rather be smaller and totally free and independent than much bigger and wealthier, but in hock to a bunch of people who I personally don't actually know. Because that's the thing, you know. Yeah, they honestly, aren't they? They're just, yeah, I know you just got to hold 51% of the shares, but it's not just that. Like, so for example, if you make a decision and the shareholders don't think that this is in the best interest of maximizing profits for the company, they can sue you. But this is why Elon was able to buy Twitter. Because he was buying it so over the odds, there was just no legal argument not to sell it for the shareholders. So I would rather it just be completely private and run sensibly with the best interests of not just the company, but like the people at the company in mind. And also the mission itself. Like, I just don't see the need. I'm not so greedy for money. Like, I should be a multi-millionaire at this point, but I'm not. Because I'm not like an insanely greedy person who is prepared to cash out, essentially. I live a good life, so I'm not in any way desperate for more money. And so that's that's why we'll run a Kickstarter. Yeah, I did a painting stream with Az ages ago. Yeah, there's not going to be a photo of me kissing a wall at any point. I can promise you that. Yeah, I know. To sell BlackRock 51% of your shares, I doubtless could. Doubtless fucking could. But I don't want to. Really don't want to. And I don't have to. I think we've got viable options. I genuinely think that if I were to start a Kickstarter for this and we demonstrate that it is completely ready for production, what we need is just essentially the startup capital to actually get the full thing going. So, like I said, we can, I can do like a limited run of card prints, for example. They'll cost, because the thing is, all of these things work in batches, right? So I could spend $1,000 getting up a set of cards printed, the magic cards, the unit cards, and a rule book. So it's a physical thing. And then 3D resin, really high quality resin printed models of the things, so I can paint things, right? So I can paint them up, and then record us playing a game of our game in reality. But that's not production cost viable. So because I'm only printing one thing, it costs like 10 times more to get that one thing than it would be if I was like, look, I need 10,000 of these things. And so the production cost goes down, and it's literally orders of magnitude cheaper to where it becomes actually business viable. So I could, because you print up 10,000 of each thing, it costs like, £2 a model or whatever. And then you package it all together, and then you add it all up, and then you put your markup on, which your profit, above all of the costs, and then you sell it. And I think we'll be able to sell like the starter kits for about 30 quid each, roughly. We've done some, back of the fag packet calculations, but I don't know exactly how much it's going to be. I don't even. It depends how much is ordered, right? That's the thing. It depends how much people order. Like if we can get 10,000 people with, say, I don't even know. Let me get a calculator up and find out. Let me look at the Trench Crusade Kickstarter as well. Excuse me. Right, so they got 20,000 backers and 3.5 million. So on average, they got backed $165 per person, which is more than I would expect our guys to back. In fact, you do actually get some granularity. Right, so they got nearly 2,000 $5 observers, 4,000 book pledge, so $45. $3,067. Right, okay, right. So if I would say, do it in dollars, say, if I would say a $50 buy-in, if we get 10,000 people at $50 on average, obviously there'd be ones, we'd offer, higher ones. They got 1,000 backers of the $400 one. But, so yeah, if we raised, $40, that'd be, $40 is probably fine. That's 400 grand, obviously. Email contact at Loadseaters, Pine Slasher, and they'll forward it to me. That would be, I would think, more than enough to set up. Because the thing is, we've got to set up an office and hire staff, right? So we'd need to have someone physically putting the things together and sending them out. I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but I think that would be more than enough. And I'm sure that from my own, mine and Arch's personal earnings, we could top it up any more than that was needed. But basically, it would be really, how did they, again, fucking hell. Right, they do have thousands, about 400, 800, 1200. So they've got about 2,500 backers at 400 or more. So that's quite a lot. But yeah, so basically, if we can get 10,000 people who pay $40 each, then I think it's viable. If we can get more than that, it's definitely viable, obviously. As in, not just viable, but like, I mean, it'll be viable either way because me and Archer just continue to pour our own money into it. Yes, that's a random name. And I don't think there's ever been a better time to do that because Games Workshop's getting worse. So we're going to make it happen either way, but like the question is like how quickly can it be made, right? And so it's all about time. If Arch and I have to fund everything ourselves, then it'll get made. It'll just take a lot longer to get made. Whereas if we can have a successful Kickstarter, which would be lovely, then it'll get done a lot quicker. And I would rather get it done quicker than later. Because the good thing about it is that Arch and I don't need to draw a wage, right? We're both successful. We're doing well. We're funding this out of our own pockets at the moment. So it's not like we need to live off of it or anything like that. But we will need to employ people who do need to live off it. So having, a couple of years' wages or at least a year's wages for some staff would be very, very good. And then we just get so much done. And the initial costs of molds, cards, etc. But I mean, the good thing is, like, it's none of it's decomposable. So we can get it once basically. Just leave it in a warehouse. It also has to be paid for. But like I said, I think I don't know why I sound so dour about it because I think it's really plausible. I think it's really, really doable. And I've got the experience on how to do it. So I'm actually really confident. And the thing is, I think once you guys see the game, you'll be like, oh yeah, shit, that does look fun. I genuinely am very excited to actually... And the good thing is, because I've got lots of experience with cameras and I've got a whole team of productions, I can just pay them to help me produce some really nicely put together videos of the game itself being played. And you'll see how much fun it is. And you'll be like, oh yeah, actually this looks cool. And the thing is, it seems as well kind of a perfect game for tournaments. Because each game doesn't have to take that long. Obviously there's a point scaling system, like basically every game has to have. And so one of the things I hate about Warhammer tournaments is that you've got like 2.5 hours for a game. And it's like, okay, but why did we brought 2,000 points to this fucking game. That's a lot of points. And Warhammer takes a lot of time. Whereas you don't have to have games that big with this. And it doesn't have to take 2.5 hours per game. You should be able to get a substantive game in an hour, hour and a half. If you know what you're doing. So, like, tournaments could be far less physically demanding. I really like the idea of it. I think it could be a lot of fun. Sorry, I've just got to focus. Well, no, I'll set up a whole thing for it on its own, and we'll have to have a new company for it basically, and it'll have its own media and its own people producing the media, frankly. So, yeah, if anyone anywhere near Swindon wants to get a job in Swindon working for a new miniature wargame company, let me know, because I will be hiring. It might not be the most glamorous job. It might be packing boxes and sending miniatures to people, or whatever. But at least you'll be working in a job that should be fun. The environment should be fun, and who knows where it goes, right? Like the sky is the limit. Well, Fuzzbin, you have to live and work in Swindon, so you better be relatively near if you want that job. But I would say early next year. I'm hoping by like May or March to May next year, we'll have a viable product that we will be able to promote and send to people. Because obviously I'd like to recruit from you guys. Well, that's the point, Powerwolf, right? If you're here now, I'm guessing you're pretty low on the Marxist heresy scale. Oh, Russian. The heretic archetype is something you're going to love. I've created a new mechanic called archetypes, and I'm going to show you them next time we are playtesting. You're going to love it. Right, that's not looking terrible, is it? I mean, I don't know if you can stop workers unionising, to be honest. I'm not sure what my options are there. Yes, that's a random name. I designed it all. I don't want to give you a general synopsis of the game yet, because I'm currently writing the lore and the premise. But the general theme is wizard battles, a skirmish game on a tabletop with various rules and cards and spells and skills, and the wizards have got, like, hirelings and stuff. So you've got non-wizard allies, companions, creatures, but the wizard is the primary character around which it revolves. And it's got a very, I think, dynamic is a good way of putting it, like play style. Like the game is exciting, frankly, I find. Like, you feel like you can do a lot, which to me is one of the things that I find most important about any game. I think that's what games should be. Making you feel like you can do a lot. And lots of different, like, ways of playing as well. This again, it's one of those things that's just this was my problem with 10th edition 40k, is it kind of homogenized all the factions. And I was like, well, I really didn't like that. I liked that the factions in older editions felt very, very unique, right? Like they felt very, very different and interesting. Well, thank you, Will. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, exactly. I cast testicular torsion. Like, it's not a comedy game, but like that'll be stuff that happens. Well, Richard, how long does it take you to get to Swindon, basically? If you don't mind, like a 45-minute drive every morning. But it's kind of like, it kind of not based on Lord of the Rings, but like it's got the same archetypes as Lord of the Rings, like and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, no, I'm very happy with how it's coming, and I think it'll be very good. He says, blowing his own horn. But I worked really hard on it, and I've just had this idea. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I just, like with load seaters, right? I had loads of people who were like, "Are you sure you were going to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, it's going to work." They're like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "I don't know how I know. I just know it's going to work." I'm not even joking. I don't know how I know it's going to work. I just do. And this is one of those things where I'm just convinced this is going to work. Like it's just, I think that the characters and setting will be cool, and I just think it's going to work. I just think the game is honestly kind of addictive to play. I really enjoy it. When we were playtesting, I was like, okay, if I'm really enjoying this, why wouldn't other people really enjoy this? Like, because the thing is as well, like, I'm basing a lot of it on my philosophy degree. Because each school of magic has got their own outlook on the world, right? And actually, philosophy is kind of like magic in a lot of ways. And so it's just like, all right, actually, I see how all of this ties together, And so, like, I can give it depth and dimension that other games don't tend to have, or at least don't exploit to the fullest. I think it'll be very fun. And like I said, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just sure it's going to work. Like, I'm excited about it. Yeah, I've really been and we've pulled in lots of friends to critique and judge and advise, and like Russians in the chat now, as a playtester. So it's not like we've been working on this for years now, like a couple of years, I would say. But the thing is, it's not even that is the reason I'm so convinced. It's because, like, I don't know how to say it, but like once I got the idea, it all just started coming together on its own, right? Like they say, like the thing writes itself. That's really how it felt. It's kind of like, oh yeah, no, this makes perfect sense. And why wouldn't I put this, and this together to get this effect? And that's, so it's kind of done itself in a way, like you feel kind of possessed by the spirit of a thing. I don't know how to describe it. But like, it's sort of the logical extrapolation of all of these things. So yeah, no, that really works. And why does that work? Well, for these reasons, And so I just, if I wasn't feeling like this about it, I'd be like, no, I probably don't have something. But because I am feeling this way, I think I really do have something. Well, yeah, rent is not cheap in Swindon, but it's not that bad. It's not London. It's not cheap because we're in the south, obviously, but like it's not London prices or anything like that. I mean, it depends how big a house you're looking to get, obviously. But you can get like, I mean, I 4-bedroom house for like 400k, something like that. So it's not like cheap, but it's not the earth. There are more expensive places you could live. I'm happy with this. Not really. Sorry, I was looking at some of the jokes, the wizard jokes in chat, and yeah, kind of. It's basically. I mean, the great thing about the game is I love the fact, like, Warhammer is really reluctant to fuck around with your opponent's models. Same with BattleTech, same with almost any miniature game. But it's okay to fuck around with your opponent's models. Like, you know, both sides should be able to do it. It doesn't. You don't have to destroy each other's models. Just, you know, like, and wizard spells just happen to be a sort of perfect frame to fuck around with your opponent's position. And your own as well, obviously. And the great thing is, because it's, you know, it's magic that we're doing, you can do whatever the fuck you like. That's too much for a jump. You know, like what was I saying? Yeah, you can just have things do whatever you like. So, like, obviously the spells are tiered, and the highest tier of spells are just fucking bonkers. But of course, we've got limits on everything, so you can't just go straight to the highest tier of spells. Yeah, everything is something you have to build up to. Yeah, no, Rob, I agree. Losing control of stuff is very unfun. It's the problem with the aisle and pinning mechanics. It's fucking stupid. Don't stop me from controlling my character. Which I'm not making. You know, there are very few things that stop you from controlling your character. But there are lots of things that interfere with how you can control your character. So it's like, right, okay, well, I can't do that because of whatever spell's been cast on me, so I have to choose something else, which is fine. You know, you've got to make choices. Everything's about choices. But taking away control so you can't make choices, like, oh, the T-Rex has pinned you to the ground. You cannot move while it kills you. It's like, why Just have it kill me then. Why go through the fucking question of pinning me to the ground? Just have it kill me. Fuck's sake, stop wasting my time. And this is what was great about the Isle Legacy as well, by the way. The fact that it was just like, no, you got bit by the T-Rex, you're dead. So, oh, right, good. Good, at least we all know where we stand. One bite from a T-Rex is too much. That's fine. That made going near the T-Rex a thrilling experience. Yeah, good luck tail riding this fucker, because if he gets you, you're fucked. Okay, challenge accepted. You know what I mean? Oh, I got too close, got bit. Well, I knew that was coming because I was fucking around with the T-Rex. It's like, oh, you're pinned. Maybe you'll get out. Maybe no, fuck off. So it's so infuriating. Night, Amy. Yeah, so basically, when we do finally get Kickstarter, we're gonna have something really incredible and beautiful to present to you, with a very well produced demonstration of the game, at least one, but obviously try to have more than one. And we'll roll out each magic type in pairs. So we'll only have like 6 different ones to start with, but we'll have loads of them just released as in the following months and stuff. So just so we're not overloading ourselves, so it's all manageable. We'll have X amount to start with, and then slowly but surely expand. And I'm convinced that this will be the most sensible way to get the thing done correctly. And smoothly. And like I said, I've got lots of experience doing this sort of stuff now. Actually running a business. Getting products to the market and whatnot. Whatever the other lingo is. So I'm actually very confident that we're in a really great position to produce something really fun. Reliably. And I really like the idea of doing like a big tournament and having a prize, obviously, at the end of the tournament. Maybe it's for money, prize money at the tournament or something. But I really, really like the idea. I think it's a cool, fun thing to do. And I really want to do it. I am indeed painting my Thousand Suns Sectar robot. Let's copy that. Alright, it's focusing. He hasn't seen any of them yet because we're still having them designed at the moment. But hopefully he'll think they're cool. I would like it if he did. But we are well into the design phases. So the game is all produced, like rules wise and stuff like that. So now it's just a laborious process of actually getting things done. Made. That is coming along, so if you happen to be a 3D miniature designer, do get in touch if you're looking for commissioned work. Do get in touch, because we can always do with more artists, basically. Like, weirdly, paying the artists hasn't been a problem. It's finding the artists. There's a problem. Well, I thought artists were desperate for commissions. Turns out they're all really fucking busy. Oh yeah. Yeah, everything's got different types, different abilities, different strengths and weaknesses. Sorry, I'm just focused. What was I going to say? Right. That's interesting. Art style. So, what? Yeah, actually, you're right. This was one of the interesting things. Call me a chauvinist, but I really wanted a traditional Western fantasy art style. Now, it would have been far easier for us to have found a Japanese art style, but I'm far too much of a chauvinist to have accepted that. So I have insisted on traditional Western fantasy art, which is actually not as common as you'd think. But we are going to revive it because I think it is cool and based. And what's interesting is there's kind of a gap in the market, frankly. The market's kind of empty, devoid of classical Western fantasy art. So I'm going to revive it. Because it's based and cool and not foreign and weird. And also there's a specific like aesthetic effect from the traditional Western fantasy archetype and aesthetic that foreign things just can't summon up. They can't create it. Yeah, it's not just gritty though. It's not grim dark. It's kind of a sort of fantasy realism. So there's importance and weight on everything. Grim dark, I feel, is frankly a lazy trope at this point. This is why I was unimpressed with Trench Crusade. It's like, the grimmest and the darkest. And it's like, okay, you're lazy, I got it. You know, like, I want heroism in the realism. And so that's the kind of art style I'm going to go for. Like, saturated colours but contrasting shadows. And the whole thing ends up looking great. Trust me, bro. Yeah, kind of 80s, 90s fantasy aesthetic, but a bit more sophisticated. God, I didn't realise it was 1 o'clock. Yeah, exactly, Solid Slayer. Exactly. So yeah, that's the project. Don't tell anyone, obviously. Keep it secret. But it's like I said, we've been working on it for a long time, and it's been coming along very well. In fact, why did I turn that light off? It's been coming along very well, and I'm very proud of what we've got so far. I honestly can't wait to share it. I really can't wait to share it. I can't wait to actually be painting the models as well. Like I said, we're getting them made at the moment. Can't wait to actually paint the models. Because they're going to look great. Anyway, right, I better go because it is very late. So thank you for joining me, folks. And I will. Oh, I walked in the middle of a conversation. Sounds like you're making something cool. I am Patrick, but I'll tell you about it next time. Right, take care, guys.